Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on what part of the country you're joining us from. Coach Kevin here, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you here real quick and point out a couple things for those of you who might be joining us for the very first time, or you're watching this later as potentially a recording. Wanted to point out some things that'll be helpful for you. First thing I'd like to point out is we have a Facebook group that coincides with our meetup. It has the same name. I want to be really rich, and I do not apologize for it. So again, it's called I Want to Be Really Rich, and I do not apologize for it. We invite you to come join us. The way to do so is go into your own Facebook account and go into search Facebook and start typing in I want to be really rich, and I do not apologize for it, and search for us that way. The other thing you could do is go directly to facebook.com/groups/ I want to be really rich as one word. Now, the reason we ask you to come join us, a few things. One, if we have any special announcements for the group, they'll be found here, typically pinned to the top. Also, though, what we do, as long as I remember to hit record, which I typically do, I'll record our Zoom meetings that we have, and they will be placed here into the Facebook group so that you can go ahead and either repeat them. If you like a meeting that you attend, you could go ahead and repeat it or go to the part that you liked and review it again. The other thing is, let's say, for example, we're in the process of going through material and you're able to be with us Monday and Tuesday, but for some reason Wednesday you can't make it, but you're here with us Thursday and Friday. Well, this is where you can go back and find the information and get caught up if you like to. And speaking of getting caught up, the next thing I'd like to share with you here as it pops up for us, there we go, is what we're in the process of going through together right now. Um, Each day we will go through some type of material that is helpful in helping us manifest more money and wealth into our lives. Okay. And I want you to know, though, that sometimes that material, it might be something that we do just for the day. If that's the case, I will typically post it into the Facebook group so you have access to it. And you can download it yourself, get a copy and follow along with whatever it is that we're doing. Or occasionally we will pick, or actually kind of frequently, we'll pick a book in relationship to manifesting more money and wealth in our lives. And they're books that I've gone through myself. I've read them anywhere from a few times to, I don't know, some of them I've probably read or listened to on audio 50 to 100 times. Not a lot of them, but I have a couple favorites that are kind of the foundation there that we go through. And by the way, we started this meetup group back in November of 5th of last year. So we have gone through quite a bit of material. We haven't missed a single day, including holidays at this point. Um, and we've actually had a pretty good turnout even on holidays, which totally surprised me. Right now, we're going through a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I've read it probably 3 or 4 times over the years, but it's been several years since I've gone through it. But after we went through the last thing that we went through, this was what felt the next appropriate place to go in our development of understanding how to manifest more money and wealth in our lives. Because we could teach you the laws like the law of attraction, which is actually a subsidiary law to the law of vibration. There's actually 7 laws that govern us receiving more money and wealth into our lives. And we went over that in a previous work that we were studying. However, your subconscious mind has to agree with what it is that you want to receive in your life, or it will sabotage you. Okay. If your subconscious programming is in opposition to what it is that you want to manifest, and particularly we're talking about more money and wealth into your life, if it's in opposition to that, it is actually going to fight you. Okay. And by the way, the subconscious mind will always win. The subconscious mind will always win. Let me repeat that. The subconscious mind will always win. So what we have to do is get the subconscious mind to quit fighting us. Here's the cool thing about this. Once the subconscious mind quits fighting us and actually accepts the idea to be normal for you to have more money and wealth in your life, once it accepts it to be normal for you to have more money in your life, again, once it accepts for it to be normal to have more money and wealth in your life, doesn't mean it's already physically shown up, but your subconscious mind accepts that to be what's normal for you. It will move heaven and earth to make sure that happens. So your subconscious mind can be your greatest friend or your worst enemy. We want to learn how to make it our greatest friend in helping us receive what we want. Okay. So we're going through a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It was written by Joseph Murphy. I've got a Kindle copy, I've got an Audible copy, I have a paperback copy probably somewhere lying around. However, when we go through something like this, a book, I like to see if I can find a free copy for you guys. That way you can follow along with what we're doing, and don't have to go out and buy it. So I just typed into Google, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind PDF. And organically, there were a couple different searches that came up. And I went through several of them and saw different formats and copies of the book and whatnot. But I found one I liked the best. And it was this one right here. It says, so if you search Google, this will come up probably on the first page. It'll say The Power of Your Subconscious Mind dash the Logos Center. If you look up here, it's www.logoscenter.org. I have no idea who they are, okay? And it actually doesn't really matter. And the reason I say it doesn't really matter is because when I clicked on it, here's what came up. Now, it actually brought me to page 1. It didn't bring me to page 170, okay? But here's the cool thing about it. They did not ask for a name or email address or anything. So I didn't have to put any of it in. It just opened up to the book. So I just went up here to the download section and went ahead and downloaded the PDF file. And so now I've got a copy. And you can too by doing the same thing. So this is the copy I'm using right now that we've been going through together, just to make it simple and easy. That way, if you choose to get the same copy, you can follow along with us. Now, if you don't choose to go there right now and download it, that's fine. If you do, we're on page 170 right now. So we've been in this for a while. But if you don't choose to do it right now, that's fine, because I'll just continue for now to share my screen and you'll be able to see exactly what it is that we're going through. And let me get a quick sip of water here. Excuse me. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start reading some of this, and I'll share commentary where I feel it's appropriate. Now, we are going to have time for interaction, which seems to be something that everybody truly enjoys and gets a lot out of. We tried to save about 10-15 minutes towards the end to give you the opportunity to share and to ask questions. So as we get towards the end of this, when we've got about 10-15 minutes left, we will switch over to that mode right there. Now, if you go into chat, I just want you to understand, if you start asking questions in the middle of what we're doing and you go to chat, I don't pay any attention to chat, just so you know. So if you're trying to get my attention through chat, I ignore chat while we're doing this, because I'm trying to get through a certain amount of material to share with you guys so that you can progress. And also because, like I just said, I'll give you the opportunity when the time is right to go ahead and actually share what you want to share or ask whatever questions you want to ask. So if you have some burning question that pops up, write it down so you remember it, and then we will get around to answering that for you. Okay? So we are going to get started here. And we have gone through quite a bit of this. Okay? So you very well likely would want to go back into the Facebook group and review what we've done if you like what we are going through right now. And by the way, I don't know today if Joseph Murphy, he's the author, is going to speak on wealth and money, okay, specifically. But everything that he's sharing with you is in relationship to how your mind works, most particularly how your subconscious mind works, and how to program it or reprogram it, because it already has been programmed, by the way, but how to add new programs and or reprogram in over old programs to receive what it is you truly want in your life. And again, if your subconscious mind is in opposition to what you want and you're trying to manifest more money and wealth into your life, it is not going to happen. So you want to make sure that your subconscious mind, again, is your friend, not your enemy in this process. Okay, review your thought power. The solution lies within the problem. The answer is in every question. Infinite intelligence responds to you as you call upon it with faith and confidence. Habit is the function of your subconscious mind. There's no greater evidence of the marvelous power of your subconscious than the force and sway habit holds in your life. You are a creature of habit. Let me go through this again. Habit is a function of your subconscious mind. And like we've talked about in the past, one of the purposes of the subconscious mind is to help us master things, help us learn how to do something well, and then master it and put it on autopilot. Okay. Hence, it becomes a habit for us. There's no greater evidence of this, of the marvelous power of your subconscious mind, than the force and sway habit holds in your life. You are a creature of habit. So essentially, you're a creature of whatever programs have been embedded into your subconscious mind, because everything embedded into your subconscious mind will become habitual. Your way of thinking and acting will become habitual. You form habit patterns in your subconscious mind by repeating a thought or act over and over until it establishes tracks in the subconscious mind and becomes automatic. Let's repeat that. You form habit patterns in your subconscious mind by repeating a thought or act over and over until it establishes tracks in your subconscious mind, or call it grooves if you like on a, for those of you who are old enough to remember what a record is, okay, there's grooves in the record that the needle goes over, but until it establishes tracks in the subconscious mind, it becomes automatic. You have freedom to choose. You can choose a good habit or a bad habit. Prayer is a good habit. Whatever mental picture backed by faith you behold in your conscious mind, your subconscious mind will bring to pass. So, whatever mental picture backed by faith you behold in your conscious mind, your subconscious mind will bring to pass. The only obstacle to your success and achievement is your own thought or mental image. When your attention wanders, bring it back to the contemplation of your good or goal. Make a habit of this. This is called disciplining the mind. So again, whenever your attention wanders, bring it back to the contemplation of your goal, your good or goal. Make a habit of this. This is called disciplining your mind. Your conscious mind is the camera, and your subconscious mind is the sensitive plate on which you register or impress the picture. The only jinx that follows anyone is fear thought repeated over and over in the mind. Break the jinx by knowing that whatever you start, you will bring to a conclusion in divine order. Picture the happy ending and sustain it with confidence. Let me repeat that part. Picture the happy ending and sustain it with confidence. To form a new habit, you must be convinced that it is desirable. When you desire to give up the bad habit, when your desire to give up the bad habit is greater than your desire to continue, you are already 51% healed. The statements of others cannot hurt you except through your own thoughts and mental participation. Identify yourself with your aim, which is peace, harmony, and joy. You are the only thinker in your universe. Excessive drinking is an unconscious desire to escape. The cause of alcoholism is negative and destructive thinking. The cure is to think of freedom, sobriety, and perfection, and to feel the thrill of accomplishment. The cure is to think of freedom, sobriety, and perfection, and to feel the thrill of accomplishment. Many people remain alcoholics because they refuse to admit their problem. The law of your subconscious mind, which hold you in bondage and inhibited your freedom of action, will give you freedom and happiness. It depends on how you use it. Okay. So again, the subconscious can work for you or against you. The law of your subconscious mind, so which hold you in bondage, inhibit your freedom of action, and inhibit your freedom of action. The same law will give you freedom and happiness. It depends on how you use it. Your imagination took you to the bottle. Let it take you to freedom by imagining you're free. The real cause of alcoholism is negative and destructive thinking. As a man thinketh in his heart, his subconscious mind, so is he. When fear knocks at the door of your mind, let faith in God and all things good open the door. How to use your subconscious mind to remove fear. One of my students was invited to speak at the annual banquet of his professional association. He told me he was panic stricken at the thought of speaking before 1,000 people, many of whom were influential in his field. He overcame his fear this way. For several nights, he sat calmly in an armchair for about 5 minutes. He said to himself, slowly, quietly, and positively, I'm going to master this fear. I am overcoming it now. I speak with poise and confidence. I am relaxed and at ease. In this way, he set into operation a divine law of mind. When the time came, he overcame his fear and gave a very successful speech. The subconscious mind is amenable to suggestion. It is controlled by suggestion. When you still your mind and relax, the thoughts of your conscious mind sink into subconscious. Let me repeat that. This is really, really, really good, important stuff. When you still your mind and relax, the thoughts of your conscious mind sink into the subconscious. The process is similar to osmosis, in which fluids separated by a porous membrane intermingle. As these positive seeds or thoughts sink into the subconscious area, they grow after their kind, and you become poised, serene, and calm. People's greatest enemy. It has been said that the people's greatest enemy is fear. Fear is behind failure, sickness, and poor human relations. Millions of people are afraid of the past, the future, old age, insanity, and death. But fear is a thought in your mind. This means that you're afraid of your own thoughts. Let me repeat that. But fear is a thought in your mind. This means that you're afraid of your own thoughts. A small child can be paralyzed with fear when a playmate says there is a monster under the bed who will grab him in the night. But when the parent turns on the light and shows there is no monster, he is freed from fear. The fear in the mind of the child was every bit as real as if there were really a monster there. He was healed of a false thought in his mind. The thing he feared did not exist. In the same way, most of your fears have no reality. They are merely a conglomeration of sinister shadows, and shadows have no reality. Do the thing you fear. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great 19th century philosopher and poet, said, do the thing you're afraid to do, and the death of fear is certain. Let me repeat that. Do the thing you're afraid to do, and the death of fear is certain. There was a time when I was filled with unutterable fear at the thought of standing before an audience and speaking. If I had given way to this fear, terrible as it was, I am sure you would not now be reading this book. I would never have been able to share with others what I've learned about the workings of the subconscious mind. The way I overcame this fear was to follow Emerson's advice. Quaking inside, I went before audiences and spoke. Gradually, I became less fearful, until at last I was comfortable enough to enjoy what I was doing. I even grew to look forward to speaking engagements. I did the thing I was afraid to do, and the death of fear was certain. When you affirm positively that you're going to master your fears, and you come to a definite decision in your conscious mind, you release the power of the subconscious, which flows in response to the nature of your thought, banishing stage fright. In an earlier chapter, I described the case of Janet R., a young opera singer whose career had been sidetracked by a terrible case of stage fright. When she was invited to audition for a major role in an opera production, she realized that this might well be her last chance at success. Yet, her stage fright was as powerful as ever. Unless she managed to deal with it, she knew she would fail once again. The way she overcame her fear was to isolate herself in a room and do her best to relax both her body and mind. To counteract the fear suggestion that dominated her subconscious mind, she repeated slowly, quietly, and with feeling the words, "I sing beautifully. I am poised, serene, confident, and calm." She repeated these words from 5 to 10 times at each sitting. By the end of 1 week, she felt poised and confident. When the time came, she gave an outstanding audition. If you adapt this procedure to your situation and carry it out sincerely and confidently, the death of fear is certain. Fear of failure. I think that's failure. Okay. Typo here. I often get visits from students at nearby university. One complaint many of them share is what we call suggestive amnesia during examinations. They all tell me the same thing. I know the material cold before the exam, and I remember all the answers after the exam. But when I'm in the classroom, start staring down at a blank exam booklet, my mind goes totally blank. A great many of us have had similar experiences. The explanation lies in one of the major laws of the subconscious mind. The idea that realizes itself is the one to which we give the most concentrated attention. In talking with these students, I find that they are most attentive to the idea of failure. As a result, it is failure that the subconscious mind brings into reality. The fear of failure itself creates the experience of failure by way of a temporary amnesia. A medical student named Sheila A. was one of the most brilliant students in her class. Yet when she faced a written or oral examination, she found herself going blank at even simple questions. I explained the reason to her. She had been worrying and brooding over the chances of failure for several days before the exam. These negative thoughts became charged with fear. Thoughts enveloped in the powerful emotion of fear are realized in the subconscious mind. In other words, this young student was requesting her subconscious mind to see to it that she failed. And that is exactly what it did. On the day of the examination, she found herself stricken with suggestive amnesia. How she overcame her fear. As Sheila studied the working of her subconscious mind, she learned that it is the storehouse of memory. It had a perfect record of everything she had heard and read during her medical training. Moreover, she learned that the subconscious mind is responsive and reciprocal. The way to be in deep rapport with it is to be relaxed, peaceful, and confident. Every night and morning, she began to imagine her parents congratulating her on her wonderful record. She would hold an imaginary letter from them in her hand, and she began to contemplate this happy result. She called forth a corresponding or reciprocal response or reaction in herself. So again, that's what I often tell you guys to do is picture what you want as if it's already happened and then put out what would happen. So she didn't sit there and visualize passing the test. She visualized that she was being congratulated on having it already happened. Under the consistent stimulation, the all-wise and omnipotent power of the subconscious took over. It dictated and directed her conscious mind accordingly. She imagined the end, thereby willing the means to the realization of the end. Let me repeat that, because this is how it works. She imagined the end. She imagined the result she wanted. She lived that in her imagination and felt it and felt good about it, thereby willing the means, creating the means, okay, to the realization of the end. After following this procedure, she had no trouble passing her subsequent exams. The subjective wisdom of her subconscious mind took over and compelled her to give an excellent account of herself. You see that? Right? After following this procedure, she had no trouble passing her subsequent exams. The subjective wisdom of her subconscious mind, it took over and it compelled her, it moved her to give an excellent account of herself. Fear of water. When I was about 10 years old, I accidentally fell into a swimming pool. I had never learned to swim. I flailed my arms, but it did no good. I felt myself sinking. I can still remember the terror as the dark water surrounded me. I tried to gasp for air, but my mouth was filled with water. At that moment, another boy noticed my plight. He jumped in and pulled me out. This experience sank into my subconscious mind. The result was that for years I feared the water. Then one day I mentioned this irrational fear of mine to a wise elderly psychologist. Go down to the swimming pool, he told me. Look at the water. It is simply a chemical compound made up of two atoms of hydrogen and one of oxygen. It has no will, no awareness, but you have both. I nodded, wondering where this was leading. Once you understand that the water is essentially passive, he continued, say out loud in a strong voice, I'm going to master you. By the powers of mind, I will dominate you. Then go into the water, take swimming lessons, use your inner powers to overcome the water. I did as I was told. Once I assumed a new attitude of mind, the omnipotent power of the subconscious responded, giving me strength, faith, and confidence. It enabled me to overcome my fear, and I mastered the water. Today, I swim every morning for both health and pleasure. Do not permit water to master you. Remember, you're the master of the water. Master technique for overcoming any particular fear. Here's a technique for overcoming fear that I've taught from the lecture platform to thousands of people. It works like a charm. Try it. Suppose you're afraid of swimming. Begin now to sit still for 5 or 10 minutes, 3 or 4 times a day. Put yourself into a state of deep relaxation. Now imagine you're swimming. Subjectively, you are swimming at a subconscious level. Mentally, you've projected yourself into the water. You feel the brisk coolness of the water and the movement of your arms and legs. It is all real, vivid, and a joyous activity of the mind. This is not idle daydreaming. You understand that you are experiencing in your imagination, or what you're experiencing in your imagination will be developed in your subconscious mind. Then you will be compelled to express the image and likeness of the picture you impress on your deeper mind. When you next attempt to swim, it is the joy that will surface. This is the law of the subconscious. But remember, they didn't just visualize it once, right? They did it over and over. Matter of fact, I think it said 4 or 5 times a day. You can apply the same technique to other fears. If you're afraid of higher places, imagine you're taking a stroll in the mountains. Feel the reality of it all. Enjoy the pure air, the alpine flowers, the thrilling scenery. Know that as you continue to do this mentally, you will come to do it physically with ease and comfort. All right. We're going to go ahead and let's see what page we're on here. I'll read just a few more minutes. He blessed the elevator. Jonathan M. is an executive with a large corporation. For many years, he was terrified to ride in an elevator. He would walk up 7 flights of stairs to his office every morning to avoid the elevator ride. When he had to meet with people from other companies whose offices were on high floors, he always found some excuse to meet them at his own office or at a restaurant. Business trips out of town were torture for him. He'd call ahead to make sure his hotel room was on a low floor, then he would be able to use the stairs. This fear was the product of his subconscious mind, perhaps in response to some experience that he had long since forgotten on a conscious level. Once he learned this, he set about to change it. He began to bless the elevator every night and several times a day. In a calm, confident mood, he repeated to himself, the elevator in our building is a wonderful idea. It came out of the universal mind. It is a boon and a blessing to all our employees. It gives wonderful service. It operates in divine order. I ride in it in peace and joy. I remain silent now while the currents of life, love, and understanding flow through the patterns of my thought. In my imagination, I am now in the elevator, and I step out into my office. The elevator is full of our employees. I talk with them, and they are friendly, joyous, and free. It is a wonderful experience of freedom, faith, and confidence. I give thanks. He continued this prayer for 10 days. On the 11th day, he walked into the elevator with other members of his company and felt completely free. Normal and abnormal fear. We will start there tomorrow. Well, welcome, welcome. Looks like some additional people joined us since we got started. Yay, good to have you guys and gals with us. Let's see, is there anybody here who has not been with us before? There might be. So let me explain really quickly what we're going to do now. This is your opportunity to share what you'd like to share or ask whatever questions you would like to ask. Obviously, it would be in relationship to either what we've studied today, what we've studied in the past, and or manifesting more money or wealth into your life. So as long as it's on those topics, whatever it is that you'd like to share, whatever questions you would like to ask, excuse me, we're open for that. So what you do is you just go ahead and come off mute and start sharing or asking your question, and we'll take you in the order that you do that. And the time is yours to do so.
Hi, Kevin. I guess I'll start.
All right. Hey, Takira.
Hey, Kevin. I guess I'm feeling a little stuck when I really don't know why, because I try to apply these rules, but I've been looking for a location as far as my business, and in my mind, I've already said that it's done, it's here. But every time I feel led to look for a location, it becomes it doesn't work out. The state says it has to have a playground. I called like 6 places. It just hasn't worked out. So
has it worked out that they don't have what you want, or hasn't worked out that you can get it?
That they don't have what is required by the state. So
okay.
I'm back to square one. So I talked to a neighbor. They own a store downstairs, and she's like, "Well, can it be in an apartment?" I said, "Yes." I actually have a training to be a provider in home on the 28th of this month as a backup. So I said, if I can't get a commercial space, at least I have a backup and I could do it in an apartment. So it's literally right across the street from my apartment.
Awesome.
And so I'm like, okay, God, are you trying to put me right here? But I called the people like to rent the location, and they all are like, oh, it's too much for you. It's 5,000 square feet. But in my brain, I'm a millionaire. So I'm like, I can afford it. Don't tell me it's too much money. Like, so I just hang up and I get like upset. And then my car broke down. Yeah, I get upset.
Yeah, because you got upset. So then your car broke down. Okay.
My car broke down like about 2 weeks ago. It was a hoopty. I told you I'm on a Mercedes SLA SUV.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and then Lillian, we always say do a Lillian, but it costs a car to do a Lillian. Like, I want to go ice skating, but I'm like, I'm not paying for no Uber. I want a car. I don't want to take the bus. I hate the bus. I cursed the guy out today. So when you say yesterday about just mine, I cursed him out from Canada to Africa and back, honey. I threw the coffee at the bus and everything. It's awful. And I'm like, whoa, what am I doing wrong?
Well, what do you think?
I mean, he was rude to me, Kevin. No.
Yeah, I know. He was just reflecting back to you your vibration.
But I woke up happy. I woke up so grateful.
No. No,
Give it to
you think of him as a dog that you walked by, and the dog sensed that you were in a grumpy mood, and the dog decided, well, great, I'm going to go bite you.
Oh, well, he got bit right back.
Maybe, and you better stop it or you're going to get more.
I know, and I dropped my coffee. It was bad, so it's not good.
Remember
but,
the movie Okay, you've seen the movie The Secret, right?
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you watched it?
Last Friday.
Remember the guy that was all upset? Everything was, even stuff got poured on his shirt and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. Now, remember the girl with the toothpaste
Mm-hmm.
that received the flowers?
Yep.
The first time everything went wrong because she went to do her toothpaste and it was all gone, and so she was mad.
Yep.
And then then she had a run in her stocking and all this stuff happened, and it just spiraled, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they showed her again, and then they showed her where she went to go, same thing. It started out, darn, no toothpaste. She just kind of put her hands up like that, brushed her teeth without it, decided to smile, went throughout her day. And then later on in the day, some guy's handing her flowers.
So
you reacted poorly to something that happened, and now you've triggered a spiral. So you just need to go back in the other direction. So what you need to do, in my opinion, is write down 3 people or things that are annoying you right now. So write this down. Okay. Write down 3 people, names of 3 people, and or situations that are annoying you right now. And you need to send love and blessings their way. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sandy Gallagher, who's Bob Proctor's business partner, she had a very similar situation with things were kind of spiraling or whatever. And what Bob said is you need to pick 3 people. Matter of fact, it's not just today, 3 people every day or situations, but he said people. 3 people every day that you have a hard time dealing with, that you don't like them, you don't care for them, you don't interact with them well or whatever. And you actually need to write their names down, and then you need to write down things that are positive about them and send them blessings and love.
Okay.
I know. But when she did it, it all turned around, and most of those people either drop out of her life, just like the movie talks about, or they started to cooperate. But it's not that she did it one time. She did it over and over and over again. But she treated the people in her mind that way, and therefore the world started treating her back the way she did. I can tell right now, you've gotten upset, frustrated, and everything else. And until you decide to bless the world right now, you're hissing at the world. You're like that cat in the corner.
Right, because before I got on the bus, I got me some Dunkin' Donuts, and at the Dunkin' Donuts, a woman was mobbing, and there was children in there, and I just was like, why? Right now, there's kids in here. What are they for? Then I got on the bus, my coffee spilled, the guy yelled at me, and I just went at him. So I see where it all. Yeah,
you bet. I'm just telling you, you don't have to go back and figure out where it started. Yeah, I mean, you can if you want to, but now you're rehashing and repeating the story all in your head. You just need to move now, go forward, and do something good.
Okay.
You need to go put good out into the world, right? And you're like, well, you need to literally, intentionally bless things and people that have been on your mind that have been a pain in the butt for you.
Okay.
Because you have been a pain in the butt to them too. At least, if not through your words and actions, in your mind, you have.
Right.
And if you're thinking, even if it doesn't come out of your mouth, if you walk by someone and you smile at them like, hey, but then when what you're really saying in your head is, you son of a.
Yeah, I actually said that to him. I told him. And I threw the coffee at the bus. It was awful, but I felt justified. But I won't do that again.
Well, you can feel justified all you want, but it's just you're being reflected back to you, your attitude right now.
Okay. And what do I do as far as location? I do see Carlos.
No. Hold on. But don't you dare make any decisions while you're angry.
Okay.
Do not make any important decisions when you're in a bad vibration.
Okay.
Or else they will not turn out the way you want them to.
So should I hold off till Monday and make those calls?
Till you feel good.
I feel good right now. I feel
No,
so
you
good
don't.
right
No, you don't.
now. I
No, you don't.
do.
No, you don't.
All right. All right. If you say no,
No, you don't. You can try and convince me.
I
You can
feel good.
smile and be happy, and do and you're used to doing that. You're good at putting on a show.
Well,
But
Kevin, I'm
but
going to be honest.
down inside, you're not feeling good and you're pissed off. Okay.
Well, down inside, you're right, because my friend died. I went to a wake yesterday, so I'm grieving
Okay. So
sadly.
okay, so that probably was the trigger to today. Do you believe in God?
I love my God. Yes.
Okay. Do you believe your friend is going to live forever? In the sense of they didn't poof out of existence. They're still there.
Yeah, because I feel her today. I saw a number, her birthday on my dollar bill. So I went and played the lottery with her birthday.
Okay. Maybe you'll win, maybe you won't. Awesome.
I know.
But what
But
but what I would say is this. Appreciate that your friend is still alive in the universe, that you're still close to each other, and they've just moved on to the next stage of their progression. And someday in the future, not that it's going to be today, you'll be able to
mhm.
join them in the same. Because we're not going to just poof out of existence. We're going to continue to progress after this life. And know that she is probably just as happy, if not happier, wherever she is right now than she was when she was here.
I know, but it doesn't take away the pain. I try to
Oh,
think that way.
Yeah, go ahead and grieve. But see, that's definitely then don't make any important decisions right now.
Okay.
Unless they're decisions of reflection of maybe I should change this about my life. Those are good decisions. But I'm talking about which place to get and all these other things. You know what?
Okay.
And I bet you the bus driver, if he knew what you went through yesterday, wouldn't have been as mean to you, right?
Right.
But you were
Right.
throwing off a vibration that he could only react that way too if he doesn't understand these laws and choose not to be snippy. If you would have done what you did to him to me,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have very likely had the same reaction as him, but I've been trained differently
Right.
at this point. However, from time to time, if something like that does come up for me and I get upset, I recognize very quickly that if I don't cut this out, it's going to come smack me upside my head.
Mhm.
And do I want all the good that's moving forward to all of a sudden come to a halt and go in reverse?
Mm-mm.
No,
I don't.
no. So it's totally fine to mourn your friend. Okay, that's natural.
Mhm.
Just recognize that in the morning, why don't you think about the good? Think about the fun times. I know there's some sadness there. That's okay. But again, feel yourself and think about yourself when the time is appropriate. Being reunited with that person and getting the opportunity to communicate with them again, similar to how you did when they were here.
Yeah. But that would be a long time from now.
It might be, or it might not be. Well,
I don't want to
the time before you do that, yeah. But the other thing too is time for us is totally different than time is for God. Okay, we're here on planet Earth right now, and the amount of time that we're here for is about like that out of eternity. We're here for this. But since we're in the middle of it, we feel like we're here for this. Like
yeah.
we're here for this out of eternity. Matter of fact, you couldn't even, because it's eternity, you can't even make a sliver. But I'm trying to just show you that based on eternity, this is just a moment. But for us, it's a lifetime because of the stage of progression that we're in. But that person still loves you. You still love this person. And I truly believe you'll get the chance to be friends and communicate again. And that you could still communicate somewhat even right now. It's just a little bit different.
Yeah. I think that's why my life is in shambles, because of the grieving and the vibration I'm sending out. So is that like a time period where this should be over? Like,
no, it's don't even worry about trying to hurry it right now. Okay. But you still take my advice. Take some people and things that have been annoying you and put out blessings towards them.
Okay, I'll do that today.
Awesome.
And don't worry about making business calls, right? Just
if there's something you absolutely promise someone you would do, and you either tell them you'll do it later or do it right now. But if it doesn't have to be done today, then don't do it today.
securing the location. But if it's done, then it's done. I should not worry if it's done.
Right, right.
Set.
Yeah, you don't, well, again, the worry means you're not trusting.
Okay. Trusted. All right. Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome.
Hey, Kevin,
Yes. Hi.
how are you?
Hello, hello.
So can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Okay. In regards to the readings that we had today, I have a testimonial. Basically, my granddaughter was very good in school, but could not test. When she'd come in front of an exam, she just could not remember anything. She remembered everything before and after, but not during. She had like a blank. And my daughter and I worked on her, and for her to believe more in herself and to also give herself affirmation and believe those affirmations. And now she graduated really well last year from high school, and now she's been accepted to a very it's amazing that she's been accepted at that college because they're very difficult. It's very hard to get in there. And she's been top of her class since the beginning of the year. So, and she's been testing really, really well again. So it does really work. So, you know, we have proof in our lives if we look back and say, okay, yes, this is what happened. And I just want to give that testimonial that it worked out really, really well for her. And I hope that we all succeed in what we're trying to achieve.
Well, thank you. Totally appreciate you sharing that. So it's not just someone in a book who gives a first name with a last initial, right?
Right.
We get to hear it from somebody right here, right in front of us. So we appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Landon.
Hey, what's up, man? So I just wanted to kind of give some hope to people. This morning, I got an email completely random. I got a pretty good raise out of nowhere. Like, it just appeared. Wasn't expecting one. I just started with this company like 3 or 4 months ago. And so it just kind of came, and I was just like, you know, very grateful. And I started feeling, you know, the feelings of gratitude and all of that. And it was just, you know, was unexpected. And, you know, I believe in all this. I've been working on it. So just trying to keep those flowing, and pretty excited about where it's going.
That's awesome. You know that you actually created that. You co-created that experience with your vibration.
Yeah.
So whatever you were doing, keep it up.
Will do.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll stay in that same vein there, Kevin. I think for a long time I was playing myself short. I had I don't think limiting belief is it, but I just would sell myself short and settle. And I think for some reason I've worked very diligently in saying I recognize my worth, and now opportunities are coming to me commensurate where I really want to be. And you know, if it's not the number I want, I simply won't do it, or the role I want, I simply won't do it. And I'm much more comfortable now having dialogue with people and saying, hey, look, if it's not a match for the both of us, that's okay. Something else is going to come, you know, along. And I'm getting so much closer to some roles that I'm looking at.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Love it. Anybody else? Questions or things that you'd like to share?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you give some examples of some goals, or maybe the team could? I'd like to put some goals on my mirror. I know that I looked a little bit on the book, The Science of Making Money.
Getting rich.
Oh,
Science of getting. That's okay. That's okay. Don't beat up on yourself. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, and the gentleman that was talking about, you know, setting goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to put some goals on my big bathroom mirror. Did you have just a couple of suggestions?
Yes.
have a hard time making short ones.
Have you done Steve Harvey's 300 list?
Oh, not yet. That's the first goal, I guess.
Well, no, that's not a goal. That's just a thing to go do.
Oh, okay, that's the thing to go do.
That will help you come up with plenty of goals.
Okay,
So go to YouTube.
YouTube, okay,
Go into the
YouTube.
search function on YouTube and type in Steve Harvey 300 list. Now,
Steve Harvey,
yeah,
300.
300
Okay,
list. Now, what will pop up won't be called exactly that. It'll have a slightly different name. Okay.
sure.
But
Yeah,
it will
that's how that works.
probably be one of the very first things that pops up. But he's going to take you through an exercise where he's going to ask you to write down 300 things that you want to be, do, or have.
Okay,
But he's going to tell you how to do it and why you're doing it.
okay,
And you'll come up with plenty of goals, I promise you.
okay.
The thing that then you'll have to do after that is narrow down what you're going to focus on. But just do what he says. He's richer than probably every one of us on this call. Do what
I
he
thought you were richer.
well. I'm doing okay. All right. We're
Good
talking
for
about Steve.
you.
We're talking about Steve Harvey. Okay.
I know.
At some
Yeah,
point, maybe,
yeah,
right? But at this point, he's got more bucks than I do.
okay.
Well, I'd
Sounds
imagine he
good.
does. But I'm okay.
So Paul, I had an idea for you. One thing, a good goal, this is just like day to day, is just gratitude. So maybe something you write on your mirror is just, just the simple word is gratitude. And just, I was talking about this yesterday, and just trying to feel that every day and every moment. And it's so important. And something Kevin cleared up for me was, you're giving gratitude for whatever you have right now. And God and the universe is basically saying, oh, you think that's good? Wait till you see this. And I didn't make that connection until I spoke with Kevin about it. So that's something maybe that could help.
Thanks, Landon. Yes,
Keep you
absolutely.
going in the right direction. Yeah.
Awesome. Anybody else? Any questions or comments? Anything you would like to share today? Don't want to, I know we're a little bit over time, and that's fine for those of you who are new with us. If you got to go, you got to go. We get it. The session, we're not trying to hold anybody hostage or whatever. I just like to, when I have the time to do it, if I can be a little extra helpful, I try to do it. So anything that anybody needs to share or would like to ask is a question that if you don't ask it today, you won't sleep too well tonight.
Just want to say that I agree with Langdon. Actually, this morning, I've been a lot more grateful lately than I have been, especially since I've been reading that book and doing the exercises.
Oh, the
And
magic.
yes, and this morning, I'll tell you, there was one great thing after the other, and it was all in regards to money and finances and all that. So like right now, I'm waiting. I just went to a closing and I'm waiting for a check, because 2 checks, one for my commission and one for my because it's one of my properties that I just sold.
Yeah,
But
seed.
but also I got a phone call from somebody who is in Lima, Peru, that wants to buy a property here. I got a phone call from my financial investor. One of the investments I did last year, they're calling it because it's made too much money. So I'll have that extra money. So all kinds of good stuff this morning. And then she had a referral to give me. So just in a few hours, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to continue to be more grateful. It really works.
Thank you, Francine, for sharing that with us. That's awesome. Totally awesome.
Hello, this is Carlos. How's
Hey,
everybody?
Carlos. Hi. First time with us?
Yes. I
Hey,
was just curious.
welcome.
Thank you. I was just curious on what was the group was about. I seen it and I didn't get a chance to actually read it. I just joined up.
Okay. So is that a question you're asking, or are you like?
Yes.
Okay. Did you catch us when I'm going to share something with you really quick. Let me go to screen share here.
Okay.
And let me go back. I don't know exactly what moment you joined us. Okay.
It was midway through the group.
Okay.
Yeah, midway.
All right, cool. Here's what I recommend that you do. This will help you. I mean, I could go over, but I already did it. So I'm going to make it easy for you to
Right.
do it at your leisure. So we have a Facebook group that coincides with the meetup.
Okay.
You can see it up here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so it has exactly the same name. Go into Facebook, your own Facebook, and go into search, type it in there, you'll find us, it's a group. Or you can go directly to facebook.com/groups/I want to be really rich. When you ask to join us, please, and when you join us, I have posted at the very top, it says announcement 1. This is essentially learn more about the group and myself and what it's all about.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so please do come join us. I would really appreciate that. And also, we started the group November 5th of last year. And if you also join us in the Facebook group, what I do, as long as I remember, and I think there's only one day that the recording got messed up, pretty much everything we've done since then has been posted and recorded into the group.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, totally welcome. Anybody else? Anything that you'd like to?
Kevin, I have another comment.
Okay.
I had a hotel that day. I was walking and I looked down and there was a dollar bill just on the ground. So I go like pick it up and there was this note attached to it. And it said, may all your days be filled with love, health, and happiness. Have a wonderful life. I mean, I spent the dollar, so you don't see the dollar.
Yeah. You found that on the ground.
Yes, with the dollar attached to it.
Okay. So here's what I want you to understand. And I know we already talked. There's a grieving going on. I get it. All right. And if I would have known that at the beginning, I still would have treated you the same.
This was last week I saw this.
Yeah, no, I get it. When
Yeah.
you found that though, you were in a vibration to receive that. That's why you got
Oh
it.
yeah.
Not necessarily strictly the dollar. Okay. If you or I find a dollar out there, or a penny, quarter, $5, whatever, if we find that, that is awesome. Okay. What's totally amazing is that note attached to the dollar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's above and beyond the dollar. That's worth $100 or $1,000 right there, because that should be proof to you that the vibration you're in at the time you came across that was the vibration you wanted to be in. Your emotion, whatever it is you're feeling, is a gauge of what is about to happen if in that path. Doesn't mean it's instant. If you stay, if you're feeling crummy, you're acting crummy. One of the things that Bob Proctor said too, it's like, I understand grieving and things like that, but the sooner we can bless the person and feel good about the person and understand that they are continuing on and so are we pull ourselves out, we're blessing them, we're blessing ourselves. Right? It's natural to grieve. So it's just, he says, look, also understand though, when we feel bad, it's a vibration. The law of attraction, the universe doesn't distinguish good, bad, right, or wrong. So it sounds really bad this way, but it doesn't care that you're grieving.
Right.
It only knows what you're putting out. So it can only reflect back to you that. So that's why, so we really want to get pissed off at the universe, right? Because it's like, well, give me, my chance to be mad at the world. And you don't really have to be mad at the world, right? You really, it won't do you any good. It's certainly not doing your friend any good. And if your friend's watching you, your friend's probably pretty sad that you're doing this to yourself.
You're absolutely right. On the back of her card that they give you at the funeral, it has grieve for me, but for a little while, let me go. And I'm like, oh my God, that is God telling me, like, don't cry too long for her. Like, I don't know if her spirit won't be happy if we do that, but I'm very spiritual. So I believe like just a little bit, Kira, just a little crying, but it's not good. And I don't feel good doing it. So
right.
Hopefully soon it will go away. But yeah, I hope I manifest more of these because that was really nice.
Well, I think it's, That's a reflection back. And we all are, we're all manifesting machines, but you're very good at manifesting things fast because you have very strong emotion. Okay. But that's good and bad, because the stronger the emotion, the more likely it's going to come, and probably the sooner it will come. So you got to understand that you have very, very high highs and you have pretty deep lows.
Yeah.
And
what am I, bipolar? Like
no, so don't worry about it.
okay.
I like what Joseph Murphy said. Almost every time he gave advice on how to do things and visualize, what did he say? Do it in a calm, slow, almost like a lullaby manner.
Yeah.
Take your life down a few notches. You don't have to be, the Energizer bunny to receive the money that you want. I'm not saying don't have energy and be the fun person that you are. I'm just saying that you got to take life and you got to go, okay, look, I want what I want. The way to get it is not to be all crazy and forceful.
Yeah.
The way to get it is to chill out and enjoy it until it really makes you smile and feel good and warm inside. Then you're putting out what needs to be put out so that you'll receive what you want to receive. But if you're flailing around like that, and if you're really high up and happy, yeah, the universe will reflect that. But I think it's better in some ways that we create our ups that go up, like we showed. I don't know if you were there when we went through those laws in Hidden Treasure, right? But you're a good example for all of us, because we've been watching, and you get to because you're a good example of both sides of the coin. So, and we all have both sides of the coin in us. So we're learning all together as we're going through this experience and spending time together each day. And I'm just sharing with you that the number one thing I know you need to do is relax and have fun. But there's also a difference between fun and excitement. You can have fun without being all excited all the time. I'm not telling you don't do exciting things. But again, if you get this big high, then you tend to take a drop. You can have fun doing regular type stuff if you want.
Yeah, I have fun in my apartment by myself, dancing, and I can dance for hours in here by myself.
Yeah.
I just love to dance. But then I'm like, okay, someone said to go chill, and I'm like, I don't have the car to go do it,
You don't need a car. Yeah.
And I don't want to take
stuff doesn't show up. It's not the opposite. It's not the stuff shows up and then you're happy. It's you're happy and then the stuff shows up.
Okay, so just be happy, period.
Well, take check throughout the day of where your emotions are telling you about what you're attracting. Feel good, feel happy, good stuff's coming. You may not be able to see physically what that is today, but only good can come when you're vibrating good. Oh, feel crappy, feeling ornery, getting back in people's face.
Yeah.
Then that if you continue, it doesn't mean instantaneous, and you don't have to be like, oh crap, I did something mean to somebody, now something's going to beat me up tomorrow. Right. No, go ask God in the universe to forgive you for that, and then forgive yourself and say that's what, depending on your religion, right? But let's say you're Christian, that's what Jesus did his job for anyway. He already paid the price, so we don't have to. Now, if we quit playing that story over in our head, we forgive ourselves, ask God to forgive, and then we forgive ourselves and move on, and maybe go do something nice for somebody.
Okay.
That will counter it. I kind of was in this guy's face. Maybe go find the same bus driver and bring him something nice. And if you don't know how to do that, then do something nice for someone else.
That's a good idea. I'll do that. Or my neighbor, does that count? If I do my neighbor?
Whoever, I would say do it for someone who doesn't already automatically know you or appreciate you always. Because some people, you do nice things for, you could just say, hi, and they're like, oh, I love you. Right? Pick someone out there that doesn't really know you, or that doesn't think of you as their best friend.
Right.
Right? Because best friends are easy. Okay, well, I'm going to go give something to somebody who was super nice to me yesterday. That's good. That's a step. That's a good direction. But go do something nice for someone who you don't have a special reason to do something nice for, because they haven't even done anything nice for you yet, and maybe they never will. Go find someone that and do something nice, because that guy was a stranger, the bus driver, unless you knew him. If you knew him, I maybe wouldn't want to get back on that bus again until you fix it, because he's not going to like you.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Any last questions or comments before we go? All righty. I appreciate you spending your valuable time to be with us today, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully again tomorrow and in the days to come. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Have a good one.
Thank you, everybody.
See you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one. Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too.